Hey, welcome in everybody. Hey, welcome in everybody. Let's mute you. How about them Savannah bananas? Yes, I'm eating a banana on a live stream. We're doing an outdoors iPhone stream today. I got no media to share. We're just gonna hang out. Good to see you, Jody. Hello, Condensed Reality. What was it, about a month ago? Around Mother's Day, it was either on Clash with Bow or Smurf Watch. Introduced me to Savannah bananas. Yeah, the game just finished on YouTube there, Dad. Hence the celebration banana. That banana ball, that's something else. I'm really getting into this. Found out about this, like I say, around Mother's Day. We were watching with Clash with Bow, and that's a riot, man. That's good, clean, semi-homoerotic baseball entertainment. But that is fun for the whole family, man. So they're playing on the East Coast, and they just finished up. It's 8:45 where I am. I hope you're all doing well. Man, that banana ball, it's got it all. Pitchers on stilts, trick plays, dancing umpires, dancing baseball teams. The fans catch a foul ball and you're out. I love it. Rufus is happy in his new home. I've been posting a few shorts on the other channel, Farmville Report. We can talk about that a little bit. So we got a new flock of sheep over at the other farm. Dropped them off the other day. So yeah, he seems to be adjusting well to his new environment. And, Max and I were out there last night, came back this morning, just hanging out, making sure everything was cool. But yeah, I got a little bit of content on the Farmville Report channel. Maybe I'll stick a link in here if any of you are interested in checking that out. I don't know how much I'm gonna do there, in that it's not my property, and I don't know how much YouTube exposure they want done, but there are some farm issues I'd like to talk about on that channel that aren't specific to, you know, what we're building there as a homestead hobby farm operation. A good friend of mine, he's the same age as me, he approached me with this opportunity to go help his friend. He's 10 years younger than the both of us. So it's kind of the old guys trying to jumpstart this younger fella. He's yeah, in his 40s. Just give me a second here. But I am thoroughly enjoying this banana ball. I was vaguely familiar with bananas, Savannah bananas, as a team a few years ago, but I didn't bother to look on YouTube. There's going to be cameo appearances by various animals, possibly during this stream. This is Pepper. He's got a short tail. A few years ago, he climbed under the hood of the truck, I guess to stay warm, and he ended up catching a ride, and I think he lost some tail parts. I can't be sure, but that seems to be what it was. He disappeared. Nobody could find him, and then a few days later, I found him a mile up the road. So I figured he hopped under the hood, and when I came to the stop sign, he hopped out, or I don't know if I was driving or my wife was driving, and so I picked him up and realized his tail was a little shorter, but he's doing good. He's fine, nonetheless. He never complains. Very affectionate. Let's see if I can find my channel. How long this takes? There we go. Find you guys here. He's a big or little fluff ball. His coat gets so thick. As you can see, he's very hairy, and then over the course of the winter, his hair all mats up. So I pulled a big glob of hair off of him the other day. Like this big clump. It was as big as he was. All this fur that he needed to shed, but it's so thick he can't quite clean it off himself. So, anyways, here's Farmville Report channel. If anybody wants to go check out what I'm doing over there. You say I got 200 subscribers now, Dad? Is that referring to me? I've been at over 200 for a while, and it's been a while since we sat down and chatted like this. What is it, 2.5, 3.5 weeks or something like that? It's just been crazy busy between the other farm and getting this house ready for sale and other stuff that just keeps popping up. And so I needed a break, or I was just too tired to put anything out there for you guys. So yeah, but I was watching the YouTube metrics this week, just if anybody's interested. And back a month ago, I was at 239 subscribers. I might have hit 240, and then I lost a couple of subscribers. And I was just kind of curious, what happens if I don't post any content? And then this week, I guess a bunch of people started watching and subscribing. It's that Andy Edwards video. People still, I mean, this is credit to Andy Edwards. He's such a household name now. I wasn't intending that at all to ride his coattails, but that was interesting to not put anything out for several weeks, and then this week I got like a few more subscribers. Like, what does it say now? 255. Like, and I didn't do anything. So that's all Andy Edwards. Thank you, Andy. Your absurdism is serving me well, and that was not by design, but I'm very thankful for it. People are still checking out my reaction to Andy Edwards. So that's in the music mentality playlist. That's what it's called, playlist. Yeah, nothing's been happening, but I wanted to sit down with you guys. I just got the iPhone going here, going to the top. Well, I already feel I've reached the top here. If there's a top higher than this, then that's great. Said in previous videos, I do this as much for myself as you guys. This is entirely a selfish endeavor. It's like therapy for me to offload some of the extra stuff that's going on between my ears. Maybe I can go through some of the comments. There have been some interesting comments this last week. I haven't been doing much music watching other than Andy Edwards has put out some interesting content on the music industry which I find fascinating. There's a couple other content creators that are doing that kind of stuff. Uh, and so it's like interesting discussions, or fills in the blanks in my knowledge about the music industry, and it kind of confirms or affirms some things I suspect are going on anyway. But yeah, the music industry sure has changed for artists, and there's a new way to go about this, and it's through these type of streaming services or Patreon. Thank you, Jody. Appreciate your support. Uh, and so I find that whole thing fascinating because back in the day, I wanted to be a rock star. And the reality of it is, I don't know if I would enjoy that lifestyle. Like just the grind of it, from town to town, packing up gear, unloading gear, doing interviews, and even if you don't make it big, but what it takes to make it big, or what it used to take to make it big. Like you had to have an in, you had to know somebody. Now, independent content creators, I've given some shout outs to some before. The Sydney Shea, she's just plugging away, putting content out there, her own original recordings or creations. Uh, Andy Edwards has the Sunday Live Club, or I forget what it's called. You have to go to his channel or check out. There's a Patreon uh, page. I don't know what you call it on Patreon. A Patreon, yeah, we'll call it a page for now, where they're doing live gigs in that studio, or the building where he has a studio in this old carpet warehouse over there in Birmingham, UK, and they're live streaming it. So there's a fee for watching it, but it's an innovative way to get music out there. And so for those of you that may not be familiar with Andy Edwards, he's the one of the prog aficionados, or I don't know how you call it, expert or authority or victim. I'm not sure exactly. uh, there's some aspects of the prog I really enjoy, but some of it is just way out there, man. So I've been checking out some of the links that Mike number one has been sending. I don't know if I've kept up with everything that he sent me, but a lot of it can be prog oriented. I think last time we were talking about Genesis, that early stuff. It's like, it's not the stuff that, like, I've said this in other videos. When I hear a song, it's like I gotta learn that. I gotta learn how to play that on guitar, or I gotta learn that riff. There's some of these artists. It's just uh, not that catchy. The riff is just a melody that hooks you, right? And I mean, there's a more technical definition than that. But a lot of the prog is like I picked up a bunch of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So in the last little while working around the house, I got on LP, on vinyl. So I had time to listen to their first album, and then I skipped ahead to Brain Salad Surgery, and it's got that hit, Carnival number 9, but there's a lot of wild, funky, weird stuff on there. So it's all very experimental and I hazard to say cool, but it's like it doesn't strike me as like I need to learn that song. So I think, Dad, was it you that uh, popped in with the Polka Floyd? Is that the thing you sent me? Hey, welcome in, Mr. Osgood. That's the kind of stuff I really appreciate. That's what's missing in popular music is some good solid accordion play. So I think if you search Polka Floyd, you'll find it. I think I got that right. Yeah. Yes. So I'm not going to post a link to that in the chat. You can just search YouTube for Polka Floyd, and you will not be disappointed. Anyways, I think this is the first live stream I'm doing without coffee. I am coffeeed right out. So I got my tea here. I got a jar of water and a Dr. Pepper just in case. Ooh, pepper. Hey, do you like Dr. Pepper? No, none for you. And then Max, he's wiped out. He's he, he had a big day. In the last 24 hours, I don't think he's been so excited in a long time. So he's crashed right out. I actually had a scare with him a couple of weeks ago. I thought he had Lyme disease because he couldn't get up off the ground. He was just hobbling around, and so I was afraid he might have had Lyme or something. So my neighbor is a veterinary assistant, so she came over, gave him a wallop of some antibiotic, and within a day and a half, he was kind of pretty much back to normal. Well on the way to recovery, where it looked like he was really struggling there. So that was a week and a half ago. That was not cool. And I found a few ticks on these guys, but I've never seen deer ticks around here, which carry that Lyme. So they're the ones with the black legs, in case you're wondering. But yeah, I was getting some inquiries about the wildfires up here, and I had posted a short on the other channel saying, the fires are an 8-hour, 10-hour drive north of here, and it's pretty intense. I haven't really been following on the news, but I've woken up to such heavy smoke that I'll show you again. Like, we can kind of see across the road. I don't know how well you can see, but there's a far bush line at the end of that field, and it's completely smoked over that you can't even barely make out that bush line. So that's pretty wild. I find it wild too that we got prevailing winds coming from the north in June. So that's odd. Can anybody say weather manipulation? Yeah, that's that Lyme disease. I don't know. I think there's ways of mitigating it, but I don't know. I'm not too afraid of ticks or Lyme. But I know people that are terrified of ticks. Oh yeah, and I got my cookies here too. Definitely gonna need some extra nourishment. The banana wasn't enough. But yeah, the wildfires are kind of one of those political or governmental boondogs, in that for the last several years we've had very destructive wildfires in Canada, and it seems like the efforts to put them out are very lackadaisical from the authorities. To the point where I think it was the Jasper fires. I forget if that was last summer or the summer before, where I guess the provincial forest service, they were turning homeowners and landowners away that wanted to protect their land and fight the fires, and they were forced to evacuate. And then the fires were just allowed to burn wild. And so it's kind of becoming a common occurrence that wildfires start. I'm not supposing I know how they start. I'm not even saying it's weather modification, but just the policy in place. They say, oh yeah, look at the wildfires, and then blame it on carbon dioxide, right? So that's, I mean, it's all a push towards net zero here, and it's nuts. It's nuts. And just burning millions of acres of wildland, uh, and it's policy driven. And I forget if it was. I think Mike number two was like, "Oh, I kind of get uncomfortable talking about this politics stuff." Well, everything has become politicized, except for the Savannah bananas. But professional sports, entertainment. I mean, on YouTube, people are pretty upfront about their political bent, but just point to an issue as of late that's not been politicized. So it's like you're almost forced to become a political analyst, and that's not what most people are interested in. Guess what, Pepper? You're grounded. Go to your room. So yeah, I don't like particularly talking about politics other than to know what's going on around me or around in the world. But most people would rather not have to bother with having to discuss these things that are, if you just allowed common sense to prevail, some of these problems would quickly be seen to be non-problems. So we don't need to get too political, but yeah, it's been smoky. We get smoke coming from wildfires in Alberta in past years and British Columbia. Uh, there's that one content creator I've mentioned a few times on this channel. Curtis Stone, and he's lived in the Okanagan his whole life, and he says there's fires every year. There's ways that they've been mitigating, but fires have been happening for decades. And then during COVID, there was a 1 year where we had like next to no fires whatsoever. So I don't know if they're going to say, well, it was because of the shutdowns that fewer people. I have no idea, but there was 1 year. It's like the narrative kind of fell apart where there were no forest fires in British Columbia, or there was just a handful of them that were being well contained. And so I got you guys on the chat. I'm trying to follow over on the side here. Dead pine trees, yeah. The fuel is just sitting there, and like down in the States, there's different levels of government here in Canada, and the provincial leaders are always at odds with the federal folks, and a lot of the policy is coming at the federal level. Like in Jasper, that was a national forest, so they kind of had responsibility for that, but the people on the ground, they're all locals. But the wildland management, or the bush lot management, however you want to call it, like the people advising the governments at various levels are saying, you need to clean up this forest, and proper logging techniques. Like I've been in Ontario, which is the province to the east of me, working in the bush, hauling wood chips, and from what I see, like there's a responsible strategy that's being done by the forestry companies. In that you drive past some of these forests that have been logged 20, 30 years ago, and they come back. Like it's a completely renewable resource. One might argue there's old growth forest on the west coast that needs to be protected. Well, sure, you can have preserved areas, but a lot of that timber is good for nothing but burning in wildfires. And so chip it up, turn it into toilet paper, and we can wipe our butts and stockpile it in the next scamdemic. Hey, Brandon Mitchell, good to see you. Vulcan salute to you. Don't mind my drunk ass tonight. Well, I'll be doing my teetotaling, but cheers to you, Brandon. But yeah, as of late on YouTube, I've just been watching Flash with Bow or a Smurf watch, just for laughs. Uh, I've been following a few odd regulars, um, and yeah, I was keeping up on what's going on with Lane Myers. Some of you are familiar with that. Uh, I don't see anybody in the chat here that is completely unaware of what's going on with Lane Myers. Uh, at this point, I just have opinions. Like I still support him, but I don't see that he's gonna prevail at this point. And I think I've explained in previous videos too. Like I started watching Lane to learn. Like he seemed to have something dialed in there that I wanted to see if the average person like myself or yourselves could access that legal system in a way, uh, not necessarily to become a Lane Myers, but he's not necessarily your everyday man, but can you prevail against a system that very few understand and is very difficult to navigate? And on YouTube, there is a big community of, whether you want to call it government accountability channels, First, Second Amendment advocates or auditors. Uh, I'm all for government accountability, and yeah, the weapon of a cell phone camera in your hand, pointing it at either the cops or taking it into a town council meeting or county council meeting, what have you. Like that's powerful. Like the powers that be are not interested in having all their dirty laundry shown to the world, and that's what's going on. And to some degree, Lane Myers was doing that. He was getting under their skin, but sound volume just went low. Yeah, pardon my testing 1 2. He goes pro say all the time. How's the sound? Is it on my end? I'm just streaming from my live phone with no mic. So, but yeah, Lane is kind of learning, I guess, the hard way too. In that his last hearing or there was an interview this week with Frauded or Troll, I believe is the channel. I don't know what I can do to help you there, Dad. Is it better if I get closer? There's not a lot of ambient noise around me. I don't want the volume to suck for the rest of the evening. I will go as long as you guys want. You tell me when to get off of here. But yeah, the system has resources that Lane doesn't, and yeah, from the beginning, you know, in a normal situation with Matt and Shannon Walker, you know, Matt should have just stepped up and said, "Listen, woman, you know, this is not harassment. This is not indictable with felony level offenses. This is not even worthy of an injunction against harassment. You know, just cool your jets. Everything's going to be okay. This guy's not a threat." But Matt was humiliated by, well, in my opinion, humiliated to the degree that he left, or he was no longer on the case, going back to the O'Reilly's debacle with Deloria and Mackenzie and the booing. Like, Matt Walker was prosecuting all that, and Lane kind of mopped the floor in one hearing, which I hope you've all seen on Lane's channel. And so is all this just retribution for making a prosecutor look like he didn't know what he was doing? Like, when Lane's in court, he comes across he doesn't always do it, but he's got the track record. He's posted some wins. And so were they just letting him have these wins to set him up? I don't know, but he's in jail and facing what? It's like they're on that interview with Fraud or Troll. He's kind of resigned that this may end up going to trial, and I might get found guilty and go to jail or prison for a long time, like a maximum sentence, 40 plus years. And there's nothing he or anybody can do about it. Like the judge doesn't have to listen to him, and Lane can't do anything about that because judges, whether you call it qualified immunity down in the States, up here, I believe judges are considered to have absolute immunity, where it's very difficult to bring any kind of retribution or bring charges against justices or judges in Canada. Absolute defiance. I like Bow's strategy. Just bite him in the balls, or go full soft sit, whatever that means. But I've seen it all, and you know my history in law, and I know nothing about law, but I've seen the soft sit movement, the free man on the land movement, and like others, I've said, like, show me the money or show me the results. And Lane was really the first one getting pretty half decent results by applying the law, you know, throwing it back in their face. But it was from the position of a statist. And I've said previously on this channel as well, like I adhere more to the voluntarist anarchist worldview. But we need statists that still believe in statism to have their day or to run up against the system in order to not be statists anymore. Is that another cat sneaking around here? Sorry. Maybe it was a squirrel. Yeah, so Metcalf, no matter what you think about him, like, nothing's going to happen to him. Nothing's going to happen to Rachel Stiles for whatever impropriety, or nothing's going to happen to Matt and Shannon Walker. Like, the system is set up for them to win and for you to lose. And I mean, I'm thinking back to a Music Mentality video I did a while ago, you know, what it takes to be a top tier frontman or something like that. And you know, Lemmy Kilmister from well, I featured Motorhead in that video, and like one of their slogans is, "You're born to lose, but live to win." And that's good life advice. You know, just, you were born into this world already with an L on your head, but live as though you're determined to win. And I mean, we all have our days, but I really like that message or that motto. And Lane Myers embodies that. Like, he's got that winning spirit in him. And but he's run up against a brick wall, and there's no way around, there's no way through, there's no way over at this point. It's frustrating. But I've learned a lot in that the statist approach, or adhering to the statist method, is no guarantee of your success anyway. And so if there's a criticism against Lane, is like he has so much belief in the rule of law and the system that it's all you need is the truth. I was like, that's not the way it works. And I kind of knew that ahead of time, but as I said, Lane was different, or he is different, in that he was bringing the fight to them, and he always had receipts. He recorded everything, and I know a bit of his backstory, and that I know why he's doing the things he does and why he does them. And it goes back to that soy boy e-biker in Newaygo County, Michigan. I mean, to me, it all started with that, and I'd posted that in Reluctant Prophets chat a few weeks ago, and he was set up to run his dream mountain bike outfitting business with his wife, and the locals stonewalled that as soon as they pulled their vehicles up, and yeah, that turned into a whole legal battle there. And there's that one picture, Elaine standing in front of the courthouse, uh, saying "fuck Christopher Wren," that big green sign or whatever it was. And I recognize that look in his eyes. That's the look of a man whose dreams have died. And so I don't know what prompted him to go to Arizona or go back to Arizona. That part of his story I'm not familiar with. But trouble seemed to just center on him again for whatever reason. I don't think he was necessarily looking for it, but Lane's the kind of guy, he's just going to escalate and escalate, but he's always thinking 2 or 3 or 5 steps ahead and keeping the receipts and walking within the bounds of the law as he understands it. But in this case, they lawfared him into a Pima County jail cell, and I don't know what to tell you. Like, I have no advice. I have no legal expertise. I have no, other than, I was watching Merb. I don't know. He's an interesting guy to hear because he has no horse in this race, no dog in this fight. But he's offering his legal understanding as it applies to what's going on with Lane. And Lane has, up to this point, been, or at least since he's been incarcerated, been employing a losing strategy. And it's like he didn't know that they were leading him down this path, which I believe they have been doing all along. So again, that's no smear on Lane. Like, he's done far above and beyond what us mere mortals could do. But I think he underestimated the ability of the system, and by that I mean people in the system, to do crazy, nutty, mad, bad things to people. And to me, it goes back to Matt saying, listen, wifey, this is not worth ruining a man's life over. Leaving an email and then having a police report that contains errors in that it alleges, or it's reported, that Lane was Shannon Walker's ex. I mean, that's just ludicrous. And then the whole grand jury debacle, I don't know what else you'd call it. Like, all those charges just make no sense whatsoever. In that the cop that was giving testimony at the grand jury, from what I understand, was explaining in plain English what Lane did, how it was First Amendment protected, how it wasn't a pattern of behavior, it wasn't violent in nature, and felony charges. And so, yes, Dad, it's a corrupt system. I stand with them, but what does that mean at this point? Like, I don't know. I'm all ears. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. There doesn't seem to be remedy, other than what I was going to say a minute ago. If there's some kind of equitable relief rather than, you know, my understanding is there's 2 sides to the court. There's the legal side where you're seeking damages, and then the equitable side where you're just wanting whatever activity that's happening to you to stop. And the activity that Lane needs to have stopped against him is to be incarcerated on this business. We'll just call it that. Monkey business or kangaroo business. He needs to get out. And so I don't know if there's equitable or a suit at equity that can furnish him some freedom. That's beyond my pay grade. Like I don't have legal advice, but any possibility is worth discussing. But yeah, hearing Merb's take and others' take, it's like without being involved in that system, we don't really understand how it works, and they can use that against you. And like it's a tough lesson to learn for Lane, but I don't know. Speechless. It's like I said I would talk about this, but I don't have much to say. Like if I could get him on the phone right now, I'd just say, hey, this is my perspective. Want to help you, but you know, there's no way that you can make the judge do anything regarding your motions. Like they have all the power. Like it's a real power imbalance. So you know, what do you just wish you best of luck? Railroaded. That's the feeling. Yes, we've talked about this in the court of public opinion on previous streams. Like this is how an outsider to that system views what's going on. You know, we've chatted about it, talked about it. Other channels have been covering it. Like there's no appearance of felony anything that requires Lane to be held without possibility of bond. Like he can't make them give him a bond hearing. Was it a misstep to get rid of Parvin? Because they did have a motion for a bond hearing, but once Parvin was fired or relieved of his duty to Lane, that motion was not dismissed, but I guess it was withdrawn. And so yeah, he doesn't have the resources he needs in jail to do the legal kung fu or to have access to the things that are going to help him as a pro se litigant. And like the intensity is getting more dire by the day. So is it a matter of hoping for a jury to find him innocent? Like what if they don't? What if a sentencing hearing and he gets the maximum? Like he pretty much admitted like he's facing that possibility, or he's acknowledging that reality. So again, to me, it just confirms that you don't want to tangle with that system. And the way Bowles put it is, if you're traveling on the King's Road and the King's men stop you to find out what you're doing on the King's Road, like you have to stop and talk to the King's men and explain what you're doing using the King's Road. And it's like Lane is having that talk with the King's men right now. And by King, I don't mean Donald Trump. It's just figurative, of course. But it's like you're not going to talk your way out of it necessarily. Even if you do have the truth on your side, even if you do have public opinion on your side, even if Judge Metcalf can do what he wants, essentially, he doesn't have to listen to Lane. Judge Metcalf is motivated by listening to what higher courts have said in similar matters, and that's how he bases his decision. That's how pretty much all legal decisions are made, and that's how even laws are determined. It's through the courts as much as it is through Congress or legislatures or the like. So it's sad. It's super sad. I don't have any advice for Lane. I don't have any encouragement other than, you know, there's a bunch of people out here that love you. We want you to win. We want you to walk free. Uh, but it's almost like he's on a path that only he can walk at this point. Yeah, if anybody has ideas of tangible ways that we can do something for him, um, I don't know. I'm just I haven't been following every bit of coverage on Lane Myers. I've been trying to catch at least the hearings and a little bit of odd commentary. Uh, but it's for the last month at least. It seemed like it doesn't matter what anybody says at this point. It doesn't matter if we respond to Matt Walker's Supreme Court amendment to Rule 122H. Like they don't have to pay attention to us, really. Like prove prove me wrong. I wish it weren't that way. The alternative from an anarchist standpoint is, I guess, mind your own business. You're born to lose, live to win. Uh, find people that are going to help you win. And we all wanted Lane to win. We still do. But at this point, victory might look different than what we thought a month or two ago. Find Matt Walker's oath of office. Yeah, I've seen Reluctant Prophet putting some stuff up. Um, Post-trial deprivation of due process. They're going to argue that he has been given due process. An appeal, like maybe they're mucking it up so bad that an appeal is a possibility. I don't know. That's again beyond my pay grade. Uh, Lane might be able to pull something out of a hat on appeal. But it's just such a redonkulous situation. I wouldn't want to see anybody in this situation where YouTubing is a federal crime. And he's been arguing like, if I'm guilty, how come everybody else posting content that essentially is identical in nature to what I've posted? They're all free, but I'm in jail with no bond. And the explanation is, well, you committed a felony while you were on bail for felony charges. It's like, just make it make sense, and you can't. And that, I guess, way back when, I don't know how long it's been, 15, maybe even 20 years. It's the arbitrariness of policy, law, government that I'm against. We're doing this just because, like that. No, that doesn't go over. At least not with me. Probably not most of you. And so, yeah, we can't let you have a bond hearing because you committed. Well, that's just arbitrary. Like, there's considerations, or at least in real life, you could make an argument, but they'll say, "Oh, well, that's what the trial is for you to make your legal arguments then, or to make your case then, or to have your say then." So they're just refusing him, all while confirming or affirming that you are getting due process, Mr. Myers. They're insisting that he's getting his due process. And if that's what due process looks like, I mean, good grief. Whoa, what is the real kangaroo? And that's why it's sort of the whole mess needs to be discarded or reformed or evacuate, refresh. It's a boondoggle. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have words of encouragement for us other than that, other than to eat the rich. I don't even know what the solution is. But it's that arbitrariness that just irked me all along. It's like or officer discretion. Well, you're doing 2 miles over the speed limit, we can give you a ticket, but well, that guy just went 10 miles over the speed limit. You didn't give him a ticket. Wow, whatever. So that there's like a capriciousness. I believe that's the word, where it's up to the whim of the people in charge. It's up to the king whether it's off with his head or 50 days in the stocks. Or you can go free because your grandfather once did my grandfather a favor or something. Like that. We don't like that capriciousness in what we call a legal system. There's no room for that. And so arbitrariness and capriciousness, it's junk. That's just ass, man. So yeah, that's about enough of that. Like, yeah, it's a shit show. Like, I don't know how better way to describe it than the Pima County shit show. Like, we're all watching it unfold. It's disgusting. Makes me want to shit. Like, it's like, how do these people live with themselves? Like, I get that people can look at Lane Myers and say, I don't like that guy. It doesn't matter whether you like him, love him, hate him, or indifferent. Like, look at what the people doing this to him are doing. Like, it is just, it boggles the mind. And I don't know what any of us would do in his situation. Yeah, the Matt and Shannon Walker channel. I haven't posted anything on there for a couple of reasons. This is the only channel that I could do live streams on. I found out kind of after the fact that you can only have one or two channels per phone number to do live streams. And I had a lot to say about Matt and Shannon Walker 2 months ago. But once Lane was in jail, I really wanted. It wasn't that I was scared or to back off, but it was like such a tense or tenuous situation. I didn't want to do him any bad favors by posting. So yeah, that was entirely a troll channel. It's still around. I haven't done anything with it. I most likely won't do anything with it other than maybe appear in the odd chat room and as Matt and Shannon and troll the hell out of them. But yeah, with Lane not being with us, and I do miss Lane and his channel and the live streams. That's a real void in all of our lives. I mean, those were such great, entertaining, engaging live streams for a number of reasons. But yeah, it seemed kind of not much point doing much with that channel, in that the last thing I wanted to do was bring extra harm to Lane. And it's like there's less and less to say about the Walkers, or nothing original that I could add to. Maybe I just wasn't being imaginative enough. And kind of at the time, people were really engaging with the talk about music and stuff on this channel. So we kind of drifted off into that lane, no pun intended, for a while. But yeah, there could have been some interesting potential with the Matt and Shannon Walker channel, but I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be anything coming. I haven't had the FBI try to contact me that I'm aware of in regards to that, or the Pima County Sheriff's Office, or the Pima Prosecutor's Office. I'm not too worried about that. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the chats from way back here. Bring this a little closer. they've earned more clowning. Well, yeah, I, I, I don't even know if the clowning is going to gratify me the way it would have 3 months ago, or whenever I started that channel back in February or March. Like they're kind of been low key. Uh, I've said a lot about Matt Walker on this channel. Uh, so really kind of before things really launched on that channel, and I was really hoping to do live streams on that channel and just talk about the Lane Meyer situation only on that channel. But again, I can't. I I should check. I might be able to go live on there now if if I add another phone number, which I'll probably add a second phone number soon just to have. But and I don't know if I could. Actually, I might be able to get a Google number and do that, but I haven't looked into that. It's I'm not techie enough to juggle all these accounts. I had got a Google Works account so that I could possibly do panels on live streams through Google something or other. Google Workspace, what is it called? Google Meets, I think. And then I ended up having a Squarespace website, brentshimko.com, which I'm not using for anything. So, I mean, really, the internet is for business, and I don't have anything to sell online. I'm just some schmuck. And, Canadian Prairies is sharing my opinions with strangers on the internet, but we're all friends here. It's all good. Um, but yeah, that's a tough situation, man. Uh, I don't think Lane expected to be imprisoned and remain there, going on. I mean, it's over 60 days now. Like, I don't even know what the count is. I'm not following that closely. Like, just day by day, it, it seems more likely he's just going to have to wait it out until trial date, which is July, towards second half of July. I don't know if there's any relief between now and then for him, or any possibility of relief. Um, yeah, if we could brainstorm an idea, like lots of people have been saying lots of stuff about this, but I say he should have just bit him in the balls when he had the chance. uh, but yeah, I haven't heard about Bow's lawsuit. No updates on that. I don't think he's privy to share any details about that Massachusetts stuff. But that'll be an interesting one. We'll just pay the man with the bar license and get him to do his job so he can stay out of jail. But anyways, yeah, nice quiet night. Not very smoky. The grass is all cut. It's a nice cool breeze coming through here. What else was I going to talk about tonight? So we had wildfires. Talked a little bit about the farm. Yeah, there's no internet hookup at the other farm yet, so I've got satellite hookup or satellite internet here. There's no fiber optic cable out my way yet, and I don't think there's any fiber optic out his way where I'm going. So I can take this satellite dish with me, or if the new potential buyers slash owners want it, I can sign this system over to them, and they can just carry on with the internet. But I guess there's Elon's Skynet or Starlink or whatever it is. Skynet, yeah. Well, yeah, things are interesting. Like I say, all things kind of become political, except for the dogs and cats around my place. They just want food and cuddles. So what, I'm just trying to think of any other music stuff that I've been encountering. Not very much as of late. Just haven't had time to delve into much music content. But thank you for the links, for sending me new suggestions. I like checking. Oh yeah, that's the thing I was gonna go through some interesting comments I got in the last few days. Here, let's see if I can pull them up quickly. Some of them are kind of music related. So someone, just some shout outs. I don't know, these are new subscribers, but this is Detective Agent Darknut. His comment is, and this is regarding my reaction to Andy Edwards' video. He said, "Down with Andy? Then I'm down with you, Brent. Subbed." Okay, so thanks for the sub. So my response was, "Much appreciated. We could start a Down with Andy club at this point." So a little double entendre there. Down with Andy Edwards. No, I'm down with Andy Edwards. Andy is great. I wish I could move that chat box. So there's just some comments in the last 48 hours or something like that. Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf Vuel 4682 said, "Thumbs up for the burp." I guess I burped it during the video. So what did I say to him? This is raw infotainment. I thumb up, your thumbs up. So there you go. So if you guys are okay with the burping, I got more of that. I aim to please. Oh yeah, this was a really interesting one. So this is from Billsy Bainbridge 3362. He says, "Thank you and Andy Edwards, as befits his comedic ego, for your absurdism." So somebody thinks I'm employing some level of absurdism. "With such humorless transactions as pass for American politics these days, the reminder about Scotch eggs is not lost on my ignorant U.S. paracolonialism. I'll toast you both with a raised shot of mealworm pickled agave tequila in comradeship with my southern border brethren and Canadian mist in peat bog waterback with a staked cranberry aftertouch for you blokes up north. Cheers to us all, where nobody remembers our name. Whatever flavor the eggs are poached in." Smiley face, grinning face. So I responded, "Thankfully, absurdism comes in a variety of flavors. I see you've got a good handle on it." So that was one of the most colorfully descriptive, confusing, perplexing, entertaining comments I've seen in a while. So thank you, Billsy Bainbridge 3362 for that one. So it's fun reading comments. And I appreciate them all. Jason's Walk put out new video. Planted some Jerusalem artichokes. Did a quick sketch. Did a great quick sketch of Matt today. Yeah, I'll go check it out. Like I say, there's a few that have been covering this intensively. I've kind of fallen off watching everybody, even Jason's stuff. Like, it's very detail oriented. If it's a bunch of satire and poking fun at the walkers, I'm all in favor of that too. But at this point, it's sort of like, is it going to move the needle, or is it just more noise? Like, I'm not saying stop doing that, but I'm about results. Like, I want to see something that's going to help Lane get out, and it's just mocking and ridiculing and trying to humiliate these people is, it's not ooh, mosquitoes. I don't know if that's the best use of our YouTube channels at this point. It might, I don't know, it might get subscribers, it might get clicks or likes or whatever, but like I say, I'm at a loss. I just want to help Lane, and I see day by day there's less chance of that being accomplished by any of us. It is kind of falling on the mercy of the court at this point, or the jury. But yeah, I'll go check out Jason's stuff. I haven't been watching his stuff. He posts pretty consistently. I don't think I've clicked on any of his stuff now, at least a week or two. But yeah, it was perfect timing for this live stream. Got to catch some Savannah bananas, which is always a delight. Gotta love those trick plays and gags and contests and goofy rules. The excitement. Do you see they're in an NFL stadium? They were in Charlotte, North Carolina, I believe. I mean, the place was packed. Someone was saying how much tickets to these events cost, and it's not a little bit. And I didn't see what the full attendance was, but it's like they pack out stadiums, 75,000 people. It's amazing to watch. I encourage you to check it out if you haven't. That's my plug. I support the Savannah bananas. I stand with the Savannah bananas. You know, no shade on Lane Myers, but it's like, yeah, what do we do to support Lane at this point? Somebody tell me. We've used our YouTube channels to the best of our abilities, and I don't know that that's the way. Like I say, it's showing me that going that absolute statism route is not a viable strategy if you're not in the club. Like you're setting yourself up to fail, unfortunately. I mean, that's just been my observation before seeing my first Lane Myers video, which was a deposition of, I think it was that cop, Angel Moreno. I think that was the very first video I saw, just about a year and a bit ago. And yeah, there was something about Lane. It's just, okay, this guy's got something going. I know where he's coming from. It's like he's doing the thing. He's doing their thing, using their rules, and seemingly taking it to him. But eventually you're going to come against the final boss, or you're going to come against someone with a little more experience and prowess than you, or a little less morals than you, or a little less character and integrity than you, and they know how to play the system. They know how to play the game better than you have. They've been doing it for years. they got the home field advantage. They know all the trick plays. Uh, they paid off the umpires. Uh, Vegas is on their side. It's they proved me wrong. If there's a way to win, it doesn't seem that Lane's way is the way, because we've seen lots of people get railroaded, whether it's the Chris Hendrys or what have you. There's a bunch of them. I've only been following this brand of American government accountability for not too long. In First Amendment stuff, I'm familiar with some of the cop watching of old, of yesteryear, but a lot of this pro se stuff and using your legal rights to get stuff done. It's almost like they know the laws and they understand they're going to take your rights and still do whatever they want with you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So rights that it's almost rhetoric. What are rights if they could do whatever they want to you? I'm laughing, but I've been looking at the matter of the law for many years, heard many voices, and for the most part, my strategy has just been mind my own business, be a good person, be good to your neighbors, be kind to children, be kind to animals. I'm not looking to get into trouble. I'm not, you're not going to take corrupt officials and reform them. The problem is, even if you reformed one, there's 20 of them ready to take their place that are even worse than the original devil that you got rid of. So, yeah, I want to say it's a spiritual battle at this point. There's this deepening darkness over the halls of government all across our lands here, and where do you go to find relief? To another country? It's just as bad everywhere else. There's no utopia or oasis of relief that you can escape to. So, and following the rules, that's a good philosophy to live by. But we see what that's got Lane, and there's my buddy calling me, my farmer buddy. We'll let the voicemail pick it up, and I'll call back in a few minutes. But I don't have a lot much more to say. So, are any of you still sticking around? It says there's 4 people still watching. So yeah, if you have any questions about the farm or the fires or the cats or anything else we've talked about, feel free to comment. And like I said, I posted a couple of quick short videos on Farmville Report. Not very extensive. I'll see about just making content while I'm there, chopping up as a video. I'm still not into doing editing and stuff like that, or post production, any kind of. I'm not even interested in doing thumbnails. Actually, here's a story. I got an email from some internet expert or some marketing expert saying, hey, you got a great channel and a great look and a great, just kind of flattering me. But what would really increase your viewership is some thumbnails and a little bit of editing. I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting paid to do this. And that sounds like work. Or I'd have to get ChatGPT and pay money to do that. I'm not paying money to do this. And if you guys want custom thumbnails, Pay wherever it says to pay here. Actually, no, I don't have any pay. But I'm not. That's not what I'm interested in. Like, YouTube is not a business to me at this point yet. But for somebody to kind of cold call me on my, I guess my email is on the channel here on the home page, so anybody could contact me. But to say, yeah, do this, this, and this, and you'll really take off. It's like, yeah, but that sounds like work. Or me just pushing a button on my phone and talking to people. This doesn't seem like work to me. But if I had to go and start editing and making thumbnails and coming up with ideas for thumbnails, and it's like, no, I don't have time for that. I got time to post and say, I'll see you guys live later on, but that's about it. So until I start getting paid for this, you can take your thumbnails and shove them. So if you guys want custom thumbnails here at the wrong channel, go to Andy Edwards' channel. He's got good thumbnails. Lane Myers had great thumbnails. His thumbnails were freaking works of art. I don't know who did that for him, but you deserve a raise. I don't think Lane was doing that himself. I think that was Nico or somebody was doing that for him. I could be wrong, but I think one of his followers was doing that. So shout out to Matt and Shannon, Shat and Manon Walker, yeah. Matt and Shannon Walker. Thanks for making this all possible. We really appreciate it. Let's see here. 1 million subscribers, or Lane is a free man. Well, yeah. Does anybody want to give odds on which one is more likely? It might take me 43 years to do that. Hopefully not, and hopefully Lane's not going to be behind bars for 43 years. It's so ridiculous. It's just so petty. It's so contrived. It's so arbitrary. Like my frustration, it's really disappointment that the system doesn't work the way it's promised. We were promised. It works completely against you, and that sucks. And thank you, Matt and Shannon Walker, for making that all possible. Thumbnails with AI. Yeah, well, I don't know if there's free AIs. I'm not interested in AI at all. To me, I think that's going to be a net harm to people. And then I still appreciate human creativity that AI is never going to replace. And in the last week, there's actually been some videos. Look how fantastic these AI videos are now. And still, to me, is like they're on an exponential rise in the quality. The ability to render human interactions and facial expressions and voices and all that stuff. But it's almost, I can still spot it a mile away, and I'm not interested in that. Like the goal is for AI to be your companion. And this was kind of one thing, like people have said about using AI for legal briefs or doing various things, or people were training Chat GPT on what human rights really are. And I without really understanding the way these large language models work, is you can have a conversation with AI and it wants to be your buddy. It wants you to trust it. And by it, I mean the people that programmed it. They want you to embrace it as if the AI is your best buddy. And so you can, I've seen people like steer AI towards their opinion, and the AI is designed to agree with you. It's meant to flatter you or to appeal to your sensibility as you're in charge. but it's not like the whole large language model is transformed when you convince an AI to say, agree that individual human rights are sacrosanct and the rule of law as made by government uh, violates your individual rights. Because I remember posting on Twitter, I found this interesting conversation where a guy convinced AI that individual rights are the supreme height of all human experience. And that was great. He convinced his chat GPT account or whatever model he was learning, but it's not like the entirety of the AI or chat GPT or that large language model was incorporating that new understanding of individual rights into its algorithm. And it's like that newfound knowledge to AI spread out to all other nodes of that AI. That's not the way it works. Like once that conversation is over, it's basically starts afresh. And so there's no teaching AI how to change its thinking. It's relying on data that it's gleaning through the internet. You know, the whole of the internet at this point is just about data collection, about you and everything you do and everything you're interested in, and places you go, and the food you like, and the products you buy. And, the totality of human knowledge as contained on the internet is what AI models are drawing from. So it doesn't care what you think, but it wants you to think that it cares what you think. It's meant to agree with you. So I think there's a real hazard in that. Uh, so I mean, I'd like to be wrong. Maybe it is going to be a wonderful tool that's going to help us and assist us and make life wonderful for everybody, and then we'll all have ice cream afterwards. But I'm highly suspicious of the AI. I have no interest in using it. I want to explore my own creativity rather than rely on a computer or Chinese robots to provide creativity for on my behalf, and then me put my name on it. That's just my feeling of it. So, and unless it gets unavoidable, like I'm just going to avoid it. I don't know what unavoidable means, but yeah, given a choice, there's just nothing about AI that appeals to me as far as any practical use. So. And I'm not saying don't use it. If people are finding it really enhances what they're doing, it's just from my standpoint, I'm so I don't know if the word is fascinated, but I'm so interested in developing my own creativity in new ways that I don't want to rely on a machine to be a substitute for my own creative abilities. So whatever those may be. So with that, I think it's time for a cookie. It is 10 p.m. here, just after 10 p.m. on the Canadian prairies. So if you want to raise your cookie and join me in a cookie toast, this one's for you, Lane Myers. This one's for all my subscribers on the way to 1 million. Let's get Andy Edwards to 100,000. If you're not subscribed to him, go ahead and do so. And yeah, I'll see. Might have time to do this again this weekend. It's what? It's Friday night. Friday night, and yeah, I kind of got a bit of a break. I can put in a garden tomorrow. It's supposed to rain finally. Way behind on putting in a garden. It's almost too late, but I'll stick some seeds in the ground anyway. But keep an eye on this channel. I'll post I'll post a post before I go live. Give you some heads up. And if not, we'll do this again real soon. Can't say when exactly, but thank you all for coming. I'll give the chat the final word. And I think we've all kind of settled down for the night. So appreciate y'all. Catch you on the next one.